Yes, sir. We got another correctional officer video from my corrections family. We talking about some ways that you can derail and destroy your career. Now, I don't want to see you on the funny pages. I don't want to be searching on Google and something pop up. Such and such CO is under indictment, was convicted of smuggling in contraband to the inmates, having inappropriate sexual relationships with the inmates. I don't want that to be you, man. We talk about this every year in annual refresher training. They go over this and they stress the importance of this when you go to the academy, once you go through job orientation, before you hit the floor, hit the units working, man, but every year somebody decides that they want to go down that deep dark hole of no return, and they find out at the last minute that there is no return. You're going to get caught eventually. You're going to lose your job, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to do prison time, baby. So let's get right into the video, man. These are some things right here: theft or misproper use of government property. Don't get any funny ideas. Think you a wise guy. Think you a gangster, think you running some kind of scheme on the government, you about to get over on these folks, man. It's not going to happen. You're going to get caught. Don't think, oh, they got the gas pump for the perimeter patrol vehicles. I'm going to sneak up there, get one of the key fobs, and start filling my car up. Don't misuse the government vehicles. If you on business and you they allow you to have a government vehicle, man, you got to think, that's an extension of your job. You still on the clock when you in that government vehicle. I'm going to tell y'all a funny story that happened at my last prison when I was in West Virginia, man. And these co-workers of mine, boneheads, they ended up getting caught and they got fired over it, man. So they were working in facilities, right? And the inmates that they were over, the inmates construct stuff. It was kind of like a wood shop. So these wise guy wannabes decide they're going to make the inmates construct stuff, and they're going to take it home and they're going to put it on eBay and sell it for a profit. Now, how that work? Explain how do you think you're going to get away with that, man? They kept up with the scheme maybe for like a year, and they were finally caught and they got fired, man. Everybody that was involved in it, man, the inmates, they like, hey, I'm doing time. I'm a convict. That's what y'all expect me to do. But us as correctional officers, we are held to a higher standard, man. When you go outside the policy and the procedures and you start doing funny business, you end up on the funny pages. This is some other stuff, man. Substance abuse. I get people all the time that's thinking about becoming a correctional officer. Do they drug test you? Yes, they drug test us, man. And some agencies, they do random drug tests. So don't think you're going to outsmart them. Don't think, oh, I'm going to smoke this blunt over the weekend, then I'm going to take some niacin or some shit like that, man. They do it randomly. I've been randomly drug tested all throughout my career. And this is how it goes down, right? Say I'm at work. I'll get a call on the phone, or somebody will call me on the walkie-talkie. It'll be medical, right? It'll be like the nurse practitioner. I get her on the phone. Boom. She be like, you have been picked for a random drug test. She explained the whole policy to you. You got 3 hours to submit to a urinalysis. Come on down to medical whenever you're ready. I don't ever have no issues. I go down there. Boom. You get the medical. They'll, what do they do? So they give you your paperwork. You got to read over it. You got to sign and initial it. Boom. Then they take you and they put you in the bathroom. They stand outside the bathroom. This is what they do next. They shut the water off. No, before they come outside the bathroom, they put those blue dissolvable tablets in the water in the toilet so the water turns blue, so you can't get any wise guy ideas and dip your cup in there and try to act like that's your urine. Boom. They turn the water off. Boom, they stand right outside. And like I said, you got 3 hours to submit to a random urinalysis. If you don't do it within that 3 hours, you're going to have to go see the warden, man. And he's going to want to know why you didn't submit to that random urinalysis. And it's often times you're going to end up getting fired from your job. I've seen so many people over the years in my career, especially with the BOP. When I worked at the county jail, they didn't do random drug tests. They just drug tested you once you went through the interview process. But the BOP feds, they do random all throughout your career. I've seen people get fired for smoking weed, abusing painkillers, stuff like that. They didn't have a prescription from the doctor. And like I say, we go over this every year in training. And when somebody thinks they can outsmart the system, they think, oh, I'm gonna go on vacation. I'm gonna smoke like I'm Bob Marley, come back. I got a couple more days, let it get out my system. I've seen people, they get randomly drug tested. They've been smoking. They know they've been smoking or taking something, narcotics, coke. I don't know what they take. And they failed a drug test, man. You right there on the warden's desk, boom, he gets it first thing. And if you ain't got no prescription, anything like that, you out of there. Your ass is grass. They can terminate you, man. I know weed is legal in a lot of states, federal law, but they hold us to a higher standard. If you're a federal employee, we still can't smoke weed. It just is what it is. This is some other stuff, man, that can potentially get you in the hot box. Inappropriate social media posts, man. You got to think. As correctional officers, we are considered law enforcement. So you have to watch what you put on social media. You can't be out in the work uniform, doing crazy stuff. You holding up guns at the camera while you in the work uniform. You got a bottle of Ciroc in the work uniform. You know what I'm saying? You can't be on there making crazy, racist, homophobic jokes, rant and stuff. No, you can't do none of that, man. You're held to a higher standard. Somebody can take a screenshot of that and they can slide it under the warden's desk or the investigation departments. That's SIA, internal affairs, man. Next thing you know, you in the hot box. I don't know how serious it may be. If you land in that hot box, man, you could get discipline action. You might get suspended. If it's bad enough, like I said, you might lose your job, man. So watch what you post on social media, man. Me, majority of my stuff on social media, I'm just posting about the gym, working out, or these correctional officer videos trying to help people out. I kind of got into a little pickle last year. I was making the correctional officer videos in my work uniform. I didn't get in trouble about it, but the internal affairs guy was asking people about my video. So I just, to prevent any kind of smoke, I just stopped making videos in my work uniform. I just have on my merchandise, promote my own stuff. Then if somebody asking, he should be thanking me. I've been helping people, trying to get people hired into corrections. They should be thanking me. But hey, it is what it is, man. So like I said, watch what you post on social media. This is the next thing, man. Excessive force. Abuse of authority, man. You cannot go beyond the scope. Once you get an inmate that's hostile, combative, you get into a fight, you got to break up a fight. You got to take an inmate to the floor. Once you got them in cuffs, under control, you can't keep hitting the inmate, kicking on, punching on. I know y'all seen what happened up in New York with the whole Robert Brooks situation. Those COs, they beat him to death. He was already in handcuffs. They was kicking him, punching him, choking him out, man. He ended up dying, man. They're going to have to answer for that. So, like I said, man, rule of thumb, once they in cuffs, it's over with. Now, they coming at you, they not in cuffs, they combative, they trying to stab you, trying to punch you, trying to choke you to death, something like that. You got to do what you got to do to get them off of you. But once it's over, man. The policy says once they in cuffs and restrained, you supposed to take them to medical so they can be medically evaluated. And then the sergeant, lieutenant who's on the ship, who's ever in charge, they decide what they want to do. They want to put them in the lockup. Usually they put them in the lockup. If they still combative when they in restraints, they'll put them in a restraint chair so they can't move. And then you got to check on them every so often, So like I said, always stick to the policy. This is the next thing, man. Being convicted of a crime outside of work, man. Like I said, you're held to a higher standard. So if you go out here outside of work, off duty, and you get into a bad bar fight, get a felony assault charge, DUI, any kind of stuff like that, man, you're going to have to answer for it, man. I've seen people get in trouble for doing this too, man. Let's say you out and you celebrate, you get pulled over by a cop and you get a DUI. I've seen instances where people try to flash their badge at the cop, trying to get out of a ticket. No, you can't do that, man. We see that on social media where you got people like other police officers pulling over another police officer, a politician, a senator, and they trying to use their clout and they're positioned to try to get out of it, and they end up going to jail. Like I said, we held to a higher standard. So always be aware of your surroundings. Always think before you act. If it sounds too good to be true, man, potential violence, or you could find yourself in a sticky situation, just don't go. Just say no, man. I just stay at home. I go to the work. I go to the gym, go out to eat, man, a little bit, come right back home, man. I don't need that extra smoke. I don't want to jeopardize my job. This is some other stuff, man. Abusing your leave, man. If they see that you have a pattern, right, especially in your rookie year, you under the microscope, you're on probation still. If they see you have a pattern of calling off every Saturday, you don't get the weekends off in the beginning of your career, but you got a little time built up, and you like, man, I'm tired of working all the weekend. I'm just gonna start calling in every Saturday. If they see that and they track it, you got a paper trail, right? And they start tracking that, like, why he's calling in every Saturday? It's like he's getting off every weekend, man. I've seen people get suspended for that, man. Abusing your leave, abusing your sick leave. I've seen people, they didn't even have no leave. They used so much of their leave that they were in the negative. One guy, he was about to retire, right? But he just kept calling in sick every day, calling in. He didn't have no leave to use, so he ended up so much in the negative that they said that you got to stay longer. They didn't let him retire. They said, in order for you to retire, get your full benefits, you're going to have to stay and make up this leave. I don't know if he ended up doing it or if he was actually able to retire. I lost touch with that whole situation, one of my coworkers, but he was so far in the negative. He was like negative 60 hours. You can't abuse your leave, man. And me, I try to be smart with my leave, especially if you got kids. You know how it is with the kids, man. They got the school might get closed because of bad weather. Kids might get sick. You might not have a babysitter, stuff like that. So I always try to think like that as a parent. I try to bank up my leave for them days when I'm going to have to use it. I don't try to call in. I don't abuse my leave. I rarely take my sick leave unless I absolutely need to, or I got something that I can't miss and it's potential that I may get mandated and have to miss it. I'll just call in. I'll try to first ask the lieutenant, yo, can I get this day off? A lot of times they'll work with you and let you get the day off. Sometimes they be like, man, we short staffed, ain't nothing I can do. So, hey, I got to do what I got to do. But like I said, I just try to let my leave build up, man. This is some other stuff right here, man. Lying on an incident report around shit. You got to remember this, right? Any document inside of a prison, a round sheet, something that you have to sign daily, your post orders, that's a court document. I'm going to give you a situation, right? If you in a lockdown unit, like in the SHU, and you doing rounds and you got to sign the sheet saying you did the round, and there's cameras everywhere so they can see you going up and down the range, right? Boom. And an inmate was to commit suicide and you missed the round for whatever reason. Maybe you got busy. Maybe it was night shift. You got tired and fell asleep and missed like 2-3 rounds. And that inmate ends up committing suicide. And you lied on the document saying that you did the rounds when the camera shows that you didn't. Your ass is grass. You finna go down. You gonna have to answer for that. They not letting you get out of that, man. Never lie on the document, man. If it didn't happen, it didn't happen. The eye in the sky, them cameras, they got cameras everywhere, man. I don't care what facility you at. They put even more cameras at where I'm at in the feds, man. They got them everywhere, all over the compound, all in the housing units. They trying to see what's going on when stuff goes wrong, man. They going to review that camera, man. The feds, the BOP, the FBI going to review it. Y'all remember when, what's that billionaire up in New York, Robert Epstein, people like that, when he committed suicide, he's supposed to be on suicide watch. Somebody got to answer for that, man. That was a big fiasco for the BOP. They was reviewing the FBI, all these, their heads were rolling. So like I said, don't lie on any document, man. If it didn't happen, man, shit, I don't know. Just try to do the next round and keep it pushing. If the lieutenant asks you, just explain the situation. I got busy, man. We had something going on. I missed the round. Hopefully don't nothing bad come out of it. Or the inmate, they all good and they all safe inside their cell. This is the last things I'm going to leave y'all with, man. These are some of the biggies, but I saved them for last. Accepting bribes from inmates, right? We see it all the time in the news, if you just go online, type in correctional officer and just hit the news tab, it's going to be a whole bunch of articles that pop up. Such and such officer at this prison convicted, smuggling in cell phones, contraband, weed, cigarettes, all the time. It happens all the time. And I can't for the life of me think, why do these people do that? I'm not in their head. I can only, go about it from my point of view. Me, for one, I'm not trying to risk losing my job, and I definitely am not trying to risk going to prison for some money that I could have made anyways if I picked up some extra shifts. That's all you got to do. It's so much overtime at a lot of these facilities. You don't got to take no bribes, be no sucker, man. Pick up them extra shifts. You ain't got to worry about jeopardizing your job, jeopardizing your freedom, ruining your reputation, your family. Now you are a disgrace to them. You don't got to worry about none of that, man. So just say no. Just report it. They try to manipulate you to get you to bring in stuff. Just say no. Don't even go down that and entertain that dark rabbit hole, man. It's never going to end good. People get caught all the time. You think you're going to get away with it, man. The other inmates see what's going on. They got the investigation department that works inside of the prison. They got snitches on the unit. They see everything. They go run back to them and they tell them what's going on. They get their intel, the investigation department. They try to catch the officer that's dirty in the act. Boom. They catch him 1 or 2 times. They got enough on him. Boom. And the snitches are telling them everything that's going on. Boom. Okay, we got him. We got him wrapped up in a damn gift wrap box, man. Boom. Next day he come in. He think everything's good. He going through the Sally port. He got the contraband in his book bag. Boom, he about to go through. Boom, the FBI jump out. Throw him in handcuffs. OIA, Office of Internal Affairs. Boom, everybody jump out, man. It's like a raid. It never ends good, man. Don't go down that dark path of no return, man. Just say no. Stick to the policy procedure. Don't be lazy. Pick you up some extra overtime shifts like a lot of us do. I pick up extra shifts and it's more than enough money just to pay my bills, and it's plenty left over after that. I live a good life. I work extra hours. I'm good. I ain't got to worry about standing up for count with the inmates because I wanted to be dirty. Now I'm in there locked up with their ass. You know what I'm saying? I get to eat the food I want. I'm out here traveling, working out. I get to talk to women, date, go out to eat. I ain't got to worry about none of that problem. The money is good. The job is good. This is the last thing, man. Sleeping with inmates, man. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Look at every inmate of the opposite sex, or hell, we can even say the same sex, because I had an officer at my job, man. I never thought he would do some shit like this, man. He was making a transgender inmate give him head on the unit, man. And the transgender inmate, he saved his semen. He got some bodily fluids from the officer, turned it into the investigation department. They tested it. It was his. Boom. I think he did. He got like maybe 3 or 4 years in federal prison for that, man. You're going to lose your job for that too. You're going to do prison time. Don't do it, man. There's plenty of people out here in the outside world, the free world. You feel me, man? I don't know how your game is, how your dating life is. If you got game enough to go up and approach these women or men out here in the free world, I don't know if you shit. Get on Tinder, Bumble is somebody for you, and you ain't got to risk losing your job and going to prison all because you chose to have sexual relationships with the inmates, man. Just don't do it, man. Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at the Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok at the Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got that merchandise, as I mentioned. This one of my gym shirts right here. In the gym we trust, man. I'm big into fitness, so if that's your thing, man, check out my website. I got a whole bunch of hoodies, t-shirts. I got over 100 different designs, man. Most of them like gym, fitness, life, motivation, inspirational type stuff on my shirt, man. But yeah, these are some things right here, man. I don't want to see y'all go down this dark path. I don't want to see you on the news. I don't want to see you doing prison time. I don't want to see you lose your job, man. So always think and remember that policy, man. Y'all got any input, thoughts, comments on this video? Make sure y'all drop a comment. I'll be sure to get back with you as soon as I can. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.